Okay, the last video finished on day 45 as we found some relaxing time on the beach. We've made the most of our last 5 days in Hong Kong, visiting Stanley Markets, Victoria Peak, the outdoor pool in Kowloon, and also taking a trip on the famous Star Ferry. All from our delightful base at the Chungking Mansions.
It's not 5-star, is it?
So this morning we're up early to get the ferry across the harbour so we can get the train up to the border of Shenzhen and cross back into mainland China. From there we make our way to Guiyang in southwest China. From Guiyang we take the long bus to Cali. We've travelled with the Intrepid Travel since we left the UK, and this next part of the trip will be no different. We've said goodbye to our last group of friends in Hong Kong and started with a fresh trip with new faces. As always, using public transport where possible. Take the bus to Jiaogubo, where we start 2 full days of hiking. Crossing the waterways takes a bit of concentration. Although we're not going to be washed away, no one wants to do the next 2 days of walking with wet socks. A little bit of foreshadowing there. We continue to walk for the next 5 hours, occasionally stopping at the peak of a mountain to take in the views.
What time to get the camera out?
Best time.
Nothing more likes to swear at it.
Are you actually married? You're not married?
No.
You're not going to go.
I might lose the camera very shortly.
And then move on again. After a few more hours we reach the accommodation for the evening, a homestay in a village called Maliao. There are no bars or nightclubs in the village that we're staying in, so some of our group decided to make their own entertainment. Very interesting. We are up early the next day to start a 4-hour trek, this time in the rain. Yeah, keeping those socks dry didn't work. We continued to take regular breaks throughout the day, and we did notice there was a little bit of tension that had developed in the group from the previous night's party. Either way, we made it to the village in Zhejiang and we were greeted with a shot of rice wine, which, to be honest, was becoming more of a regular occurrence. Not to knock the hospitality, but I do not have the palate to distinguish this from other spirits. They all taste the same to me. We settle into our rooms and I try to find somewhere to dry my now damp, moist, wet socks. I really hope these dry for tomorrow. My feet have actually wrinkled like I've been in a pool for...
I think mine will only be like that.
I didn't think of bringing more than one pair with me on this trek. We left our main bag in storage back at the hotel and travelled light with 1 pair of socks. In the evening we watched the dance show put on by the locals, and again the rice wine. There does not seem to be an occasion where the rice wine is not offered. Once they've finished, they invite us up to do a performance. One of the group makes a suggestion. However, we settle on a dance, a classic dance. A dance that gets a whole body moving. A dance that has at some point been a fan of almost every child in the Western world. On day 48 we make our way back to Cali to recover our bags and then head to the bus station. The main reason we chose again to travel with a group guided tour through places like China was the language, and the text can be hard to understand. Having someone local that can help us navigate and deal with the day-to-day is fantastic. This comes into play when we are waiting in the bus station. Our guide Mark has gone to buy our bus tickets, and he's not been seen for about 35 minutes now.
I don't know what time the bus is actually leaving. I just know that it's a 3-hour journey. We had to be at the train station for 6:30.
We start to feel concerned after doing some math of where we need to go and how long it's going to take us to get there. If we miss this bus, then we miss our overnight train to Kunming. We're all starting to worry. Then from nowhere Mark returns. He tries to split the group into 2 parts fairly as possible. We didn't quite get the urgency until he spells it out for us. Then a mad rush to the bus. I let our guide explain what the issue was.
It's still sort of national holiday week, so there's lots and lots of people travelling. Because all you could do is you could turn up and you get what is the next available bus, because there wasn't enough spaces on the 440. No, the next available bus for anybody going to Gwee Island. So what we've gone and done is a little bit of bribery and corruption. We've got on these.
So we've paid off someone to get on this?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's quite exciting.
It's more exciting than I wanted to be. Most people didn't want to get off at all, because they were literally told that they weren't going anywhere.
My shoes have now been wet for the past few days. We made it to Kunming, spent the night and the day exploring the city. We then took another bus down to the border of China and Vietnam, and took another bus after that to our current location.
Just a non-ending bus ride.
About
Really?
11 hours.
Where I could finally dry my shoes that had been now wet for 2 days.
Probably about 1,600 metres up.
I don't know, I enjoy days like this when you get views like this. I didn't enjoy yesterday.
After taking in the view, Mark gave us an orientation walk of Sapa and pointed out the key things for us to explore for the day.
Direction, there's more sort of bars and cafes with fantastic views over the valley. But it's up to you to sort of like try and find them.
Back in the room later that evening.
Apparently they only get 100 days of view, actually clear view. This is what they get the rest of the time. It's just absolutely nothing.
With no time to commiserate about the lack of view, we head out on another trek and stop for lunch. Claire takes herself away to check out the animals. Towards the end of the day,
Right, today we've done, what was that, a 6-7 hour trek. Gonna have a cool down, a bit of river swimming.
we set ourselves up in a homestay and this one is a hit. They have a karaoke machine. Not sure what the homeowner thought of the singing. The next morning we take a short bus ride back to Sapa to collect our bags and then take an 11-hour train ride to Hanoi. We didn't get much sleep on the train. We arrived at our hotel early in the morning and realised that our room is not on the ground floor, or the first floor, or the second. We're on the 5th floor. Luckily, after all the treks that we've been doing, both myself and Claire are quite fit and can manage 5 floors, no problem. Warmer. We have 4 days to acquaint ourselves with Hanoi and how to deal with the local traffic.
Apparently from road crossing we just go.
As with any trip, the weather can make or break it. And as we're entering Southeast Asia in the wet season, we expect the odd rainstorm. We hope this is just an isolated event.